All right, I'm Nick. Today we're coming out. We're gonna do a little fishing. Kevin's already launched. Before we do that, we're gonna do a little walkthrough of this 2023 Hobie Outback. Now, we did pick this up so we could make these rod tube replacement mounts, which obviously already exist, but we'll talk about that some other time. We'll just go front to back real quick. Obviously, not much has changed in the last few years. This is the, I don't know, obviously best-selling kayak of all time, and it's for a reason. It's a fantastic platform. I've always been a fan. I caught my first sailfish from one of these things a very, very long time ago, so it always had a special place in the heart, right? Overall, not too heavy compared to like a pro angler or a predator or a big water 132 PDL. This carrying handle, simple, does the job. I like that it's towards the front. Anytime you can pick up towards the front area and not grab something that's in here, you don't hit your leg when you're carrying it, okay? Typically there's a Hobie emblem right here. It fell off on our drive back after we picked it up. Inside here, plenty of storage in the front hatch. Also a very easy way to see if you have any water problems. This is the flush mount. Remember, there's 4 of those. There's typically one here. This is where the GoPro will be mounted for the fishing trip today. The other 2 are there, and that one has a fishing pole in it. So you come back, obviously you have the Mirage fins. They're turbo, a Mirage ride with the turbo fins. They're kick up fins, 180, so you can go forward and reverse. Sail mast is there. This sets up your transducer, lowers it in the water. This is your rudder cable, lowers it into place. This track is really, really nice. If you're familiar, touch these, you know, this track is super flimsy, okay? It'll do the job, but everybody already knows it's super flimsy. These are nice for putting your pliers on or anything you need to grab, pull that you want to return. Storage on both sides for, who knows, sunscreen, whatever you want to put there. Everyone does different things. Pre-installed wire grommets on both sides, 2 cup holders, dual steering, which is always important, okay? Makes a big difference. This is the same system here as the front, minus this track. Plenty of bungees. You know, you have these bungees so you can put in whatever you want to put in. Like up here, if you want to put tackle boxes, this will slide in this groove. Tons and tons of options. The Vantage seat, obviously been around for several years. Fully adjustable, lumbar support, anything you want, which is nice. Comes with the paddle. Rudder comes installed these days. Most people don't see that because they get it from the factory and it's already, or get it from the dealership, it's already put together. This one was still wrapped in plastic when we picked it up from the dealer. So that's a nice change of pace. You got carrying handles in here, which are obviously very hard to access unless the seat is out, which helps a ton. And that's really it, front to back. We could flip it over and talk about that stuff some other time. But we're gonna get on the water and give you our initial thoughts, which will pretty much fall in line with, it's an amazing kayak. It's super stable. And I just wish the ability to go to instant reverse was there. Pulling that cord is kind of a pain in the butt. We've talked about that on the Hobie Links, stuff like that. And that's why the PDL system that's out there will always be superior in my mind if we want to talk about the phrase total kayak control, right? The ability to pedal backwards a quarter turn and stop a kayak instead of pulling the cord to go backwards and pulling the cord to go forward. The kayak's kind of always gliding, hence the phrase. They used to talk about glide technology with the Mirage Drive, and it would glide where you want it to go. What if you don't want it to glide, okay? So we're just gonna drag it in the water. First time I've ever touched a boat ramp. Let me put these back on here real quick. And then, you know, it has to get its first scratches somehow, so that's a good way to do it. Now hopefully we can come out here today. We're gonna just do this initial walkthrough. Then after that, we're gonna see if we can catch a few crappie. Kevin's got the tackle boxes. I wanted to keep nothing on here at first just so we could look at it as is. You know, one thing about it is it's so easy to get into it. You know, it's so close to the water. You can do that one-handed. No big deal, super easy. That thing sits a bunch higher. That's a 120 Sportsman PDL. It sits a bit higher. Sometimes when you go to get in, it doesn't feel as stable just because you're getting in it at a weird angle. Now this will just slide down in place. Oops. Lock in there. Now, I'm familiar with this, so I know I'll probably need these to be on 5. So you can push those down, adjust it where you need it. Of course, we need the rudder in the water, so we'll deploy the rudder. I don't ever use those things, and then we're off. Now, cool thing about this is I'm holding the camera with my left hand. I can still steer with my right hand. Now, if I was on the Old Town with the factory stuff, I'd have to hold this in my right hand and steer with my left hand. You know, as you can see, it moves easy. It moves real easy, okay? Obviously the bottom of the kayak doesn't have any scratches on it, minus those ones from unloading it right there. But it glides, you know, we're just cruising. If you want to stop, you keep your feet together. It won't work if it's like this. Feet together, pull this cord, and then go backwards, which is not terrible. That's pretty smooth, but we're not fighting a fish. We're just talking about it. When you're in the heat of the moment, or you're next to some structure, say you're up in those bushes over there, or these bushes over here by that cypress tree, and you're catching some fish, now we're still going backwards, and I meant to go forwards. So you have to put your feet together, pull that, and go. It's still a great system. It's just one of those things that it would be cooler if it was instant, because you get so used to it in the Old Towns. That's really the only thing that kind of drives me crazy. You know, we talked about these things. They're super flimsy. You know, people give the Old Town crap because their front tracks are flimsy. This is the same thing. That's more than likely why they installed the metal part here, is because that T-track is a lot stronger than this one. Whereas back here, that does that. And if you see, there's actually a nut underneath this. This one is tight, but this one, it just spins freely because this is too wide for the nut to even touch it. So you can just spin it infinitely. Now, you can nitpick those things because after taxes, we paid $4,100 for this thing, just so we can make a part and fish from it, and, you know, experience it, because it's very, very easy to come out or fish for a living or do all those stuff that we do and then become biased towards a platform. Now, they all make great kayaks. They just excel at different things. The Old Town, their kayaks are super bland. They don't really do innovative things as far as layouts to the kayaks. You can, you know, talk about electric motors, talk about pedal kayaks right now. The kayak itself, there's not a lot of features like stuff like this. This is nice. Or how about the seat? You know, Old Town puts a $7.50 seat in their kayak, maybe $10 with inflation, right? But it's just super simple, nothing to it. Whereas this has a very, very nice seat. It has the little add-ons here and there, so you can install your fish finders. It's just a good system, okay? The transducer mount on the bottom, which we didn't go into details about, you know, well thought out. So does the price point justify itself? I mean, of course, sure it does. It has to, or they wouldn't sell so many of them, okay? So not critiquing that, just pointing out little things that if you are a first-time buyer of a kayak and you're going to do this, you get a lot of extra stuff on here, but you're definitely paying for it. And then some of it, like those flimsy tracks, is silly. And it's just one small thing to point out. There's more, but we won't go into details. We're not bashing it. We're just pointing out little things that you'll notice. And we can go into more details in the future. I wanted to spend a day in it first, give you guys my initial thoughts, which I've been doing this for a long time. So I've caught a lot of fish from platforms similar to this, or this exact kayak, just a few years older. Last time I spent any significant time in an Outback was 2021. It was a camo one. I took it offshore several times and caught some fish in it. But yeah, so initial thoughts, man, you know, it really is a good kayak, okay? It's smooth, it glides. Gliding is a great thing. You just have to have the ability to stop easy and then continue forward again. It's really my only giant pet peeve with this. Now, Kevin's over here. He's in his little crappie hole. He's catching crappie another day. I don't know if he's caught one yet, but I'm gonna go join him, okay? So if you guys have questions about the Outback, we will go into depth about it more This GoPro will spend the rest of its day mounted on this mount. We replaced the flush mount, puts the GoPro a little further away, gets us a better angle. Not going to be filming my crotch the whole time, hopefully, okay? So we're going to put it right there on that mount. We make that same mount for the Old Town, so we know it's incredibly strong. It'll hold the camera with no issues, and that's that. So if you guys have any questions about this kayak, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to see anything in future videos with it, let me know, and we'll make it happen. Thanks for watching.